Guys, yesterday there was a severe market crash that led Bitcoin below the $40,000 mark again, and every crypto felt the movement. The funny thing is, this market crash barely made a dent on the XRP price movement. Other altcoins dropped significantly, and if you had any long futures trades, I'm sure you are now feeling the heat. Each crypto that depends on Bitcoin took a hit with the market price drop. Stick around to the end since we will talk about XRP and Ripple and why I believe this coin will soon get to a $5 mark and soar even higher. Hello there and welcome to Money Side. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and let's make this money together. Thank you for all the support you are showing us from the start of this channel, and I will always try and keep you up to date with the latest news in the crypto market. Right, now that that's out of the way, let's get down to business. As you can see from the chart I shared, the market is red, with significant drops from some crypto giants like Bitcoin. An article posted on independenttribune.com states the Bitcoin BTC price today, as of 9:51 a.m. Eastern Time, is $39,163.77, down 2.57% in the last 24 hours. It's up 12.06% from last week and down 12.75% from 1 month ago, according to CoinMarketCap. The 24-hour trading volume is at $38 billion, and it has a market cap of $733 billion. The 52-week high of Bitcoin is $64,863, while the 52-week low is $8,975.53. The article goes on to state that if you purchased a single Bitcoin at the 52-week low of $8,975.53 and sold it at today's price of $39,163.77, you'd earn $30,188.24. for a positive return of 77.08%. If you haven't started investing in Bitcoin, you'll need a crypto exchange to do so. Keep in mind, you may owe taxes on any gains you realize. That's an incredible profit level, but we need to remember that Elon Musk has primarily influenced this coin's price, and the same goes for Doge. Now, during the slight drop in crypto prices, XRP steadily consolidates sideways and only had a small price drop. That's because the coin has a solid backing and will potentially revolutionize the entire crypto market. Mr. IOHK Charles said something that's worth noting. Listen to this video. In his opinion, Bitcoin is so slow, and the only reason it's still around is that many people have invested in keeping it around, and we kind of have to let it stay. But there's nothing about it since it has flimsy programming. Anyway, we all don't want to offend the Bitcoin people because they've all defended it with all their hearts. However, there are ways to upgrade the Bitcoin framework and keep the proof of work to make it even more marketable and competitive. That could potentially keep this coin afloat and lure even more people to this crypto king. Bitcoin was the first in this field, so it's like royalty in the crypto market. In other words, as I said before, it's another version of a digital gold currency. A tweet that piqued my interest was this one by John Smee, which states XRP has been on the spotlight through this lawsuit. So don't you dare say you don't know later when XRP rockets, because it will be the first and only cryptocurrency with regulatory clarity. And guys, I have to agree with him. XRP will soon get regulatory clarity from the SEC, and it will be ranked as not a security. You can even quote me because I firmly believe that this coin doesn't have a security framework. It never has and never will. But we are now entertaining the thought because, well, the SEC must exercise their rights to finding securities and ensuring that they can protect investors from frauds. But honestly, guys, XRP is not a scheme or anything like that. It's not even security pretending to be a crypto. Without a doubt, the company runs as a crypto firm, and Ripple operates as an individual entity outside the crypto market. The only real connection between Ripple and XRP is that the company uses XRP for liquidity and the decentralized network as the baseline of their tech. And yes, every XRP trader already knows that the company uses XRP as liquidity for RippleNet, which frankly I believe gives the crypto a real-life use since it's a win-win situation for all parties involved. Guys, it's crystal clear that this coin doesn't have any framework that suggests they might be a securities company. Whatever case is running against this company during this period is merely an illusion that's frustrating Ripple. Another reason why I don't believe the SEC's plan is this tweet by XRP is Our Future that states, "Do you really want to know why the SEC wants to beat Ripple so bad and crush XRP? Just think about it. Why 97% of the world uses as a currency and the USA says no. It's a danger to the US dollar. A level playing field. If you know, you know." That totally makes sense. I think the idea is to slow down the future of Ripple and XRP since they would jeopardize the future of the US dollar. Honestly speaking, this coin has been on the rise, and it's trying to make cross-border transactions way cheaper than what they are right now. More importantly, RippleNet offers central banks a chance to create their own digital currencies, which should change the entire crypto space forever. See, if this idea pulls through effectively, we could witness a new era for the crypto world, where even the central banks support this new currency. However, I believe the SEC is trying to stall Ripple so that the government can create its version of the same. It's totally shady, but it's not a far-fetched theory. If that happens, Ripple will have to move their headquarters to another, friendlier environment. The only losing party will be cryptocurrency investors in the US. Globally, crypto investors will continue to profit from XRP since the SEC doesn't have any jurisdiction outside the US. To support my claim, here's an article showing the SEC is trying to stall Ripple until they get a way to replicate what Ripple is doing, or at least to fabricate evidence to support that XRP is a security. This article, published on financefeeds.com, says, Ripple, however, states that this lawsuit is anything but similar to the past enforcement actions brought forth by the regulator. One main point is that, unlike other firms who launched initial coin offerings to raise funds to build their blockchain products and services, Ripple already had XRP in place when it sold the digital asset. This leads to the question, what is the SEC's rationale regarding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP? This has prompted Ripple Labs to ask the regulator to turn over its internal documents, which Judge Sarah Netburn approved. The SEC, however, keeps on refusing to disclose that information despite the judge's insistence. Should the regulator remain uncooperative, the judge could order monetary sanctions. Earlier in June, the SEC asked for more time to investigate the case, which the defendants oppose. They contend they had sufficient time to investigate this matter before filing the suit. And because Ripple wants to move for summary judgment as soon as possible, Ripple has recently stated that the SEC has not shown good cause to extend the discovery, and an extension will unduly prejudice Ripple's business. And that is probably the regulator's strategy, to threaten Ripple's company as much as possible to obtain the best settlement deal. Ripple Labs is not like the other defendants. It is well-funded and seems to have a case to claim the lawsuit is unprecedented, triggering a win on the fair notice defense. That is likely to be the most feared outcome for the SEC, so the regulator will do anything to avoid going there, namely stalling the case to hurt Ripple's business. The blockchain firm also wants to go public once the lawsuit is over. Of course, that can only happen if the case is really over, but a settlement could be costly for Ripple and for its digital asset, as it may bottleneck the flow of XRP into the market for years. Currently, Judge Netburn has agreed to extend the discovery battle to October, which means this case will continue running until then. That could potentially slow down the roadmap for XRP. Here's the thing, I really don't understand what hidden agenda the SEC has against Ripple, because if they don't have any evidence against the company, why would they extend the battle other than fabricate documents to support their claim? Anyway, XRP has proven that it's backed down lightly, and it will continue to hold down the fort until Ripple is back on its feet again. Once that happens, this coin's price will go through the roof, making most XRP holders millions of dollars. With that in mind, let's take a look at the technical analysis. We're in the 4-hour time frame, and as you can see, the price is fluctuating in a triangle. If the price comes out of the triangle completely, we can expect a fall. But if the price goes out of the upside and breaks our resistance, we can consider the climb. We have drawn resistance and support for you. Do not forget the loss limit. In this chart, all major altcoins seem to be putting in the same bump and run bottoming pattern we saw Bitcoin complete in late 2018 and early 2019. I've been following this because it sparked my memory from 2018. Seems to be right on track. If so, we can expect a breakout to the upside shortly, with a return to the previous all-time highs by the end of July. Remember, trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind, we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Hey, tell us what you think in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and to click on the subscribe button below. Turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. We'll look forward to seeing you in our next video.